Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome President Clinton and the Mayor of the City of New York, Michael R. Bloomberg.
Ladies and gentlemen, I just want to say very briefly, Mayor Bloomberg is going to handle this announcement, but he is not just our host mayor. In my opinion, he's one of the finest mayors, not only in America, but in the world, and one of the greatest social entrepreneurs. He's done a great job for us here in New York City, and he's always on the forefront of change. And very soon, he will become the leader of the C40 group of mayors committed to reducing greenhouse gas emissions, fighting climate change, and doing it in a way that creates jobs and is good economics. So please give him another warm welcome. Thank you.
Mr. President, or Bill. Who knew that I could call a president by the first name? I mean, shows you what a wonderful country this is. Anyways, he is a friend as well as being our former president and a great American who's really making a difference, and he's the one that deserves the round of applause. Now, last March, the UN General Assembly took a tremendously important step and passed a resolution proclaiming the next decade to be the decade of action for road safety. And such action couldn't be more welcome. Vehicle crashes, you should know, kill 1.2 million people each year, mostly in growing and newly motorizing countries. And to put some perspective on that number, that's equivalent to the population of all the men and women and children in the city of Dallas, Texas. And that doesn't even count the 50 million people worldwide who are seriously and often permanently injured from road traffic crashes. And unless we take some vigorous steps now, traffic fatalities are expected to overtake HIV/AIDS, tuberculosis, and lung cancer to become the 5th leading cause of death globally by the year 2030. But let's be clear, there is nothing inevitable about this coming to pass. Traffic fatalities, just like deaths from tobacco-related diseases, can be prevented. And there are interventions that do work, such as increased use of seatbelts and motorcycle helmets. And for those reasons, my foundation has made a major commitment to reversing global traffic fatalities. And last November, we announced a $125 million 5-year effort to support 6 organizations which are implementing key interventions in countries from Mexico to Cambodia. And so far, I'm happy to say the results are very encouraging. For instance, in Vietnam, we've helped partners close a loophole in the law so that all children 6 years old and older must now wear a helmet while riding a motorcycle. In Brazil, we are working with 5 cities that will play host to the next Olympics and the World Cup to develop bus rapid transit systems, which will help get thousands of drivers off the road. And in Egypt, we are helping successfully lobby the government to build a pedestrian bridge over a busy highway that had claimed the lives of many people who had attempted to cross it. In the central western Mexican state of Jalisco, which includes the country's 2nd largest city, Guadalajara, we've championed a strict new drunk driving law that went into effect in June. And because traffic laws are only effective if they're enforced, we've been supporting a program in Cambodia in which local traffic police are monitored by traffic police from Australia. The good news is this foundation is not working alone. Far from it. We've created a partnership with a number of incredible organizations, including the World Health Organization, Embark, the Global School of Public Health at Johns Hopkins, I'm happy to say the Bloomberg School of Public Health, the Global Road Safety Partnership, the World Bank Global Road Safety Faculty, and the Association for Safe International Road Travel. And it is my pleasure today to introduce other great organizations from around the world that are also dedicated to confronting this growing problem. And they are members of the Clinton Global Initiative who are today making life-saving commitments as part of this global call to action. Now, the first, Mr. President, you'll be happy to know, is Michelle Yeoh of Make Roads Safe and the FIA Foundation, and Luis Moreno of the Inter-American Development Bank. The FIA Foundation, with the Inter-American Development Bank and others, is committing $10 million to promote safe driving and the use of seat belts and motorcycle crash helmets. Our second commitment comes from Maria Fernanda Rodriguez of the Gonzalo Rodriguez Memorial Foundation. Here she comes. That foundation is committing to create road safety education programs for 1,300 school children in Uruguay. Next up is John Dawson of the International Road Assessment Program. You should know that John and his organization have committed to assess the most dangerous roads in the Asia-Pacific region in order to introduce life-saving engineering features such as footpaths and speed management improvements. Our next commitment is being made by Greig Craft of the Asia Industry Prevention Foundation. A man clearly committed to doing the right thing and knows how to market. The foundation plans to increase access to high-quality helmets and promote safer behavior in Asia and Africa. Next is Denise Diaz of the Alicea Foundation and Mothers in Black. They are committing to provide road safety education and patrol programs in more than 10 primary schools in Guyana. And finally, we have Mark Penn of Burson-Marsteller, who is representing WPP. You should know that WPP has developed a logo for the UN's Decade of Action campaign and will provide additional pro bono communication services to support its launch next May. So, Mark, thank you, and thank you all. Mr. President?
Here you go.
We're going to take this over?
We are. And then